Stranger Things Season 5. Hard to believe this show has been on the air for, going on 9 years already. I mean, where were you in 2016? But I'm excited to see what the Duffer Brothers have in store for us with Season 5. So let's just jump right in. Since the end of Season 4, Vecna has been MIA. Some people believe he's dead, but others, they want to be certain. And quite frankly, I don't blame them. As a kid, you go through this much shit in your life just between the ages of 8 and 14. I'd want to knock that nail in the coffin and know that it is flush with the wood. So people want certainty that he's gone, dead, not a threat. So objective 1 in Season 5, very clearly, is to find and kill Vecna. He's somewhere in the Upside Down, retreated after the finale of Season 4, doing whatever he needs to do. Heal up, I don't know. But there is a government base in Hawkins at the start of Season 5. And they have found a way to access the Upside Down from within their base. Hopper and Joyce Wheeler are helping to train 11, so she and Hopper can then infiltrate said government base and hopefully find and destroy Vecna. Simultaneously, more kidnappings are happening around Hawkins, similar to how Will Byers was kidnapped back in Season 1. Vecna is obviously suspect number 1 to be pulling the strings on these kidnappings. This season, Holly Wheeler, the youngest daughter of the Wheeler family, is kidnapped and locked away in Vecna's mind palace, which he's using to harbor the kidnapped children because their minds are weak, and he wants to shape them however he wants so he can form his own little world, his own little larva-infested, demogorgon-infested, unsanitary world. Whatever floats your boat. In an attempt to lure Vecna out of hiding, the government, thank God for government obviously, they are luring kids out as well, those same kids that Vecna is trying to kidnap. They're luring those kids out so that they can try to kill Vecna themselves, or perhaps study him. At this point, who knows what the government's trying to do in this show? So objective 2 in Season 5 is to save the children from both Vecna and the government. The government is also after 11 and is pursuing her via the military presence in Hawkins. I'm guessing they want to use her as some sort of bait for Vecna, or possibly turn her into some sort of weapon for their own use. To do this, the government is holding someone that has the ability to neutralize 11's powers, making it easier for them to capture her. The girl who can do that, who can neutralize Elle's powers, is one of the girls from that episode back in Season 2 that nobody liked. So objective number 3. Prevent the government from capturing 11. Notice how 2 out of the 3 objectives have to do with preventing the government from doing something. That pesky government. So that's kind of the lay of the land story-wise out of these first 4 episodes. Now let's get into what I thought were the good bits. First off, always great to see Linda Hamilton in something, especially a show that harkens back to the 80s and early 90s. Linda Hamilton just knows how to play a hard ass. That's exactly what she plays in this show. I think she knocks it out of the park. She plays an intimidating character, one of those military science types who is driven by any means necessary to achieve her objective, which apparently is trying to capture 11 for her own nefarious purposes. Then we have Jamie Campbell Bower as Vecna. I thought his performance in Season 4 was phenomenal. I think he's great as Vecna again in Season 5. He's a very commanding presence when he enters the room. But he's great as both Henry, the human form of Vecna, and when he's Vecna. It's always nice in an epic story like this to have somebody who plays a villain really well. Those are my shout-outs on the acting side of things. Now, just for overall good stuff, I would say the second half of Episode 4 is a really... It's one of the best, cinematic events that I can remember on TV in recent history. Very well done, action-packed. The story comes together. We get a bit of detail as to what Vecna is up to. We see character development, specifically with Will. Just a very epic moment at the end of this episode with Will. And not everything was all hunky-dory with the first 4 episodes of Stranger Things Season 5. There are a few things that I wanted to pick on. Number 1, the word goddamn is, I think, so overused in this season. It's like every episode I'm watching an episode of Suits.
God damn it.
Goddamn right.
God damn it.
Goddamn ticking time bomb.
And I don't mind a well-placed goddamn in any episode, but goddamn in this specific season, we got to get to the goddamn radio tower so we can get the goddamn signal up again so we can communicate with goddamn Hopper who's going through the goddamn gate to get to the goddamn Upside Down. God damn it.
God damn!
I'm like, okay, I get it. All right. Passions are high. Aside from that, Some of the humor falls flat for me in this season so far. While the kids are coming up with a plan to find Vecna, they're in that forest and they finalize their plan. And they have like a hands-in moment. And on 3, they're like, woo! And then Lucas just like starts howling at the moon. He's like, ow, 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 ow! And they all are like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's go! And I'm like, just seemed a bit over the top. There's also a dick joke from Robin that's in episode 1 or 2, I can't remember, but that whole thing, it was just carried on for too long, and I thought it was just kind of a cheap joke. And then there's a moment where Murray and Jonathan Byers are talking behind Nancy Wheeler's back, and they're like 10 feet from her, and they're sort of just whispering about Jonathan's love for Nancy. And the scene is trying to clearly play it off as like Nancy can't hear what they're talking about, even though the camera shows that they're like just 10 feet behind her. I feel like she could hear everything that they were saying the whole time. But anywho, some of the jokes fell flat. Other than that, I think some of the ways that the Duffer Brothers moved the plot along sort of fell flat for me. Like how the Wheeler girls hide in the bathtub when the monster visits them. Out of all the things they could have done, that felt to me like the most unrealistic thing that would have happened, that they're saved by the disguise of bubbles and they hold their breath for exactly as long as they need to before the monster exits the room. That way of hiding themselves, it didn't really work for me. It didn't play out well. The other plot point that didn't exactly work for me in terms of how they got there was the fact that the whole plan to kidnap the Turnbow family, the fact that that whole plot developed with Jonathan Byers being the only person to object to it, that just seemed highly unlikely to me, that he would be the only person in the group to be like, hey, maybe we shouldn't have plan A, B, to kidnap and drug these people. Who's with me on this? Joyce? Yeah. Son was kidnapped, season 1. You're cool with this? No, like, you don't think any trauma is going to come about this for the other mom? So the writing of that scene felt a bit rushed to me. Like the Duffer Brothers needed to get to the kidnapping scene where the monster comes in and they try to capture it, and getting them all to agree to this plan as plan A was the fastest and easiest way for them to do that. My last little gripe with season 5 so far. These 4 episodes clock in at about 4 hours and 43 minutes. And I feel like the Duffer Brothers could have done in 3 episodes what they did in these 4 episodes. It feels like they could have shaved off about 45 minutes and done 4 one-hour episodes. But all that being said, the end of episode 4 was great, and I am very excited to see how this season ends. But let me know down in the comments what you thought of the first 4 episodes. Which storylines are most exciting for you? Which character arcs are the most compelling for you? And if you had like a Stranger Things like bucket list that you could see in the next 4 episodes, like what would you really want to see? What is your heart's desire that you want to see on that screen in this series finale? But thanks for watching, everybody. And I hope to see you at the end of Stranger Things Season 5.